अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन। आज हम एक ऐसी पर्सनालिटी के बारे में बात करने वाले हैं जो एक ग्रेट स्पीकर, ऑडिटर, ना सिर्फ उर्दू, हिंदी, इंग्लिश और जर्मन में फ्लुएंट बट एक एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी एजुकेशनिस्ट भी थे। वो बच्चों के टीचर, उनके लिए स्टोरीज और बुक्स लिखने वाले राइटर, एक पैशनेट गार्डनर, रोज कल्टीवेटर। सिर्फ इतना ही नहीं, उन्होंने अपनी लाइफ में कई डाइवर्स रोल प्ले किए। वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ प्रेस्टिजियस साहित्य अकेडमी, co-founder of Jamia Millia Islamia, Vice Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University and JMI as well, and बिहार के गवर्नर, राज्यसभा के मेंबर, भारत के वाइस प्रेसिडेंट
and lastly President of India.
He was the basic architect of वार्धा स्कीम एंड दुनिया ने इस शख्सियत को कर्मयोगी के नाम से जाना बिकॉज ऑफ हिज डेडिकेशन टू एजुकेशन, नेशन बिल्डिंग एंड सर्विस विदाउट अटैचमेंट टू पर्सनल गेन. And today I request to Professor Sajid Jamal, an insightful professor from Department of Education, Aligarh Muslim University, to share more about Dr. Zakir Hussain.
Assalamu alaikum sir. Kindly explain the brief sketch of Dr. Zakir Hussain's journey from teacher to vice chancellor.
Of course, not only from teacher to vice chancellor, rather to the president of India as well. So you see, born and brought up in Hyderabad. So he was born on 8th of February 1897 in Hyderabad, and then finally came to school Itawa, from where his schooling was completed. और फिर वहाँ से मोहम्मदन एंग्लो ओरिएंटल कॉलेज अलीगढ़ आए और यहाँ से फिर यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ बर्लिन गए पीएचडी करने के लिए इकोनॉमिक्स में. So this was his educational journey. If you see, after returning from Berlin, he joined Mahatma Gandhi in non-cooperation movement and Satyagrah movement. Then he established one institution that is known as Jamia Millia Islamia. वहाँ पर तकरीबन 1926 से 1948 तक तकरीबन 22 साल वो वाइस चांसलर रहे. Then he was appointed as the vice chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University from 1948 to 1956. From 1957 to 1962, he was the governor of Bihar. From 1962 to 1967, he was the Vice President of India. In between, he was the nominated member of Rajya Sabha as well. And then finally, in 1967, he was appointed as the President of India and served till his death. That is on 3rd of May, 1969.
Sir, he was the institution builder. So how it contributes to the India's national development?
In my opinion, in fact, he has developed so many institutions, but primarily I will be talking about three big institutions that he made. So one, of course, Jamia Millia Islamia. You can see nowadays it is one of the best universities of the country. If you see the QS ranking or National Institutional Ranking Framework, so it's on the top. And it's contributing in so many ways. If you see the graduates and the postgraduates passed out from this institution, they are serving the country in so many capacities. So this is one contribution of him. If you see, he was the vice chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University from 1948 to 1956, and this time was very crucial. Why? Because in 1947 partition happened, and then so many learned professors and so many good researchers, they migrated to Pakistan. So Aligarh Muslim University was deserted at that time. But it was his vision that he brought so many good people. He appointed, the posts which were vacant, he filled those posts, and started again refresh the teaching and research and all those things. So by that way, his contribution a lot so far as the betterment of Aligarh Muslim University is concerned. Then if you see, the third institution that he developed was Ghalib Academy and Ghalib Institute. So when he was the President of India in 1969, under his leadership, this Ghalib Institute was conceptualized, and finally it was built up in 1971. And if you see this Ghalib Academy or Ghalib Institute, they are very premier institutes so far as promoting literature and particularly Urdu culture and Urdu adab in our country. So you can say definitely that he was an institution builder.
Sir, what was Zakir Hussain's belief about the potential of education for national development?
Right. Needless to say, Zakir Sahab wanted education free and compulsory. Let me explain this one thing, free and compulsory. And the second thing, wanted education in the first language of the child, that is almost in mother tongue. So, education has a lot of potential. Not only it encourages the employability skills, inculcates the employability skills, or rather in so many ways it contributes to the national development.
Yes.
And if you see Gandhiji's philosophy that education inculcates, takes care of three things, body, mind and soul.
Exactly.
So perfectly he was in line to Gandhiji. And later on, Gandhiji gave an idea, a craft-centered education, that is known as basic education.
नई तालीम.
Basic education, or it is known as Vardha scheme as well. So it was Dr. Zakir Hussain who was the president of that committee to formulate what Gandhiji wanted from the education system of the country, and it was accepted by the Congress session that was held in 1938 in Haripura. And then Dr. Zakir Hussain almost 12 years was the president of Hindustani Talimi Sangh, so whose job was just to incorporate the ideas of Gandhiji in the education system of the country.
Sir, can you please explain his values of nationalism and patriotism contributed to Indian national movement?
Of course, if you see when he joined Gandhiji, so Gandhiji was a mass leader. He was undoubtedly the most, you can say, the biggest leader of the Indian national movement. So he cooperated with Gandhiji. And later on, communal politics that was started in the country, and there was much division in the country. But it was his unique contribution that in 1946, I think 17th of November 1946, when they celebrated the silver jubilee of Jamia Millia Islamia.
Yes,
so
sir.
it was his unique leadership and it was his unique personality that he invited people from different political thought on one single platform. So if you see C. Rajgopalachari, Maulana Azad and Pandit Nehru from Congress came, and simultaneously Muhammad Ali Jinnah and his sister Fatima Jinnah, as well as Muslim League leader Liaquat Ali Khan, they shared the same stage. So I think it was his unique contribution, leadership style, that he brought so many people together. It was his credibility of the leadership.
Thank you, sir. Sir, what we can learn from him about secularism, integrity, and so on?
Of course, not only secularism and integrity. If you talk about magnanimity, if you talk about tolerance, if you talk about compassion, if you talk about simple living and high thinking, I mean, all these things were there in Dr. Zakir Hussain. So I would like to tell one or two stories that I have got from the primary sources.
Yes,
so his son-in-law, Professor Zillur Rahman Khan Sahab, who was my teacher in the Department of Physics. So he told me this story. So he told me that he was there at Rashtrapati Bhavan when Dr. Zakir Hussain was at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. So he was there. And then one person, Gupta ji came to meet President of India, Dr. Zakir Hussain. So definitely who was Gupta ji, nobody knows, but the moment he received the message that some Gupta ji has come to meet him, immediately he gave the nod that invite the person. So Gupta ji came and he talked to him almost for half an hour, and then when Gupta ji was about to depart, he came to see him off on the gate of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. So his ADC, of course a military officer, he said, sir, it's not in the protocol of the president. I mean, it's against the protocol that you are going to see someone off. So Dr. Zakir Hussain said, do you know who was this person? So the ADC said, sir, no, I don't know who was he. So he said, he was the person who used to give me ration when I didn't have the money. I mean, when Jamia was run from Karol Bagh, so he has one shop, and I didn't have any fixed salary, or sometimes economic crisis were there. So Gupta ji always supplied the ration to my home. And at this juncture of time, I am the president. So it's humanity is the biggest protocol. So don't teach me the protocol. I know what is the protocol. And since he has done something great with me, that's why I have so much regard for Gupta ji. So I will go and I will see him off. This is one incident that Professor Zillur Rahman Khan Sahab told.
MashaAllah, remarkable, sir.
Of course. Another, if you see, in 1946, he was almost killed in a communal violence that took place at Jalandhar railway station of Punjab. So he was going to Kashmir to attend some program of the Congress party, and then all of a sudden communal riot broke, and he was identified that he belonged to a particular community. So he was attacked. He was almost killed, and he talked to other people, some close of his friends, about this incident. But this never sparked in him the communalism. Another thing, you see, when Jamia Millia Islamia was established, it was run from Karol Bagh. And in 1947, when all over India the communal riots broke out, then this Jamia Millia Islamia office also was looted and burnt. And he was at that time Vice Chancellor. And anyhow, he saved his life. But these two incidents collectively didn't bring intolerance in him or didn't motivate him to do communal politics. He was always secular. He was always committed to the secular values.
Sir, how can we learn from his life to fill the leadership vacuum in today's context?
Of course, if you see, in order to become a leader, you have to be credible. You have to have some credibility. So, not only your followers are following you, rather the followers of others also are following you. And if you listen to his speech, inaugural speech when he was appointed as the President of India, it's a very nice speech. It's available on Google, of course, on Wikipedia also. That this beautiful country is a home, and by the people of this beautiful home I have been selected as the head of the family. So it's my opportunity and it's my fortune that I am serving this great family. So people from all the spectrum, whether they are leaders, whether they are film actors and actresses, whether they were common people, they always respected Dr. Zakir Hussain, and I think this was his biggest contribution. So definitely a leadership vacuum can be filled the moment you will be connecting to the people, the moment every time you will be connected to the people, and you will be not be distancing yourself with the common people.
सर, जैसे कि हम जानते हैं कि टीचिंग एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है मोर देन अ प्रोफेशन, एंड आई हैव रेड अबाउट मैनी वैल्यूबल टीचर एंड डॉक्टर जाकिर हुसैन इज़ वन ऑफ देम. सो कैन यू प्लीज शेयर हिज रोल एज अ टीचर?
Of course, he was a very good teacher as well. In fact, if you'll see his contribution, so he is more remembered as a president or as a leader or as a freedom fighter, but equal important role he played as a teacher. And again, I would like to tell two incidents which are very important. And one incident was told to be me by my teacher from the Department of Physics. At that time, he was a student. So it was the time when Dr. Zakir Hussain was the Vice Chancellor. And some very important program was organized in Statue Hall. And Vice Chancellor, that is Dr. Zakir Hussain, was on the stage. And that my teacher, he told that he was sitting in the front row, but the top button of the sherwani, that was opened. And very important personalities like Governor of UP, Chief Minister of UP, and District Magistrate of Aligarh, and very important dignitaries were there on the dais. But immediately Dr. Zakir Sahab stood up, came to that student who was my teacher, of course, and with his hands did the needful, that is tied the button. So this is one story. Another story that was told by someone else who was a student at Jamia Millia Islamia in his time when he was the Vice Chancellor. He used to say that sometimes Zakir Sahab used to come to the hostel, and if he saw that someone's shoes is not clear or something like that, so he used to clean the shoes with his own hands. So that shows a fatherly figure. He was not only a teacher, rather a fatherly figure. Third incident that is again very important. So there is one Mr. Faridi. So Mr. Faridi was a pass out of Aligarh Muslim University, and at that time Dr. Zakir Hussain was the Vice Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University. So he has a close rapport with the Vice Chancellor. Then he was from Bihar, so after passing out from Aligarh University, he went back to his hometown Bihar, and there established an educational institution. Then when in 1957 Dr. Zakir Hussain was appointed as the governor, so he came to meet Dr. Zakir Hussain. So Dr. Zakir Hussain immediately, when he saw, he remembered, and then he asked, what do you do? So he said, sir, after passing out from Aligarh Muslim University, whatever I have learned from that great alma mater, now I have established institutions and I am running these institutions. So some of them are schools, some of them are colleges. President took, the governor of Bihar, that is Dr. Zakir Hussain, took lot of interest in that and kept on asking so many questions and, simultaneously giving the suggestions as well. And meanwhile, the Chief Minister of Bihar came to see him, and his ADC again came and said, sir, Chief Minister is waiting for you. Some very important discussion is about to be held with you. He said, okay. Instead of the Chief Minister to wait, I am working on a very important project. So then kept on interacting with Mr. Faridi. Then second time ADC came and said, sir, very important political decision is about to be taken by the Chief Minister, and he's waiting. So please break this meeting and go and meet the Chief Minister. Then he said, okay, Mr. Faridi, some of the points we have discussed, still some of the points are left. So you don't go anywhere, you just sit here I'm going to discuss with the Chief Minister, and the moment Chief Minister will be free, I will be free from the Chief Minister, then I will come and definitely.
Okay.
So this shows ki, being a governor or being a vice president or being a president or being a vice chancellor or being in any role, always he was a teacher, and teaching was very close to his heart. And I think I'm proud of saying that because I'm also a teacher. So if you, me, and every teacher, is following such a great teacher, definitely we can become a great teacher. There's no doubt about it.
Sir, I also have read one story that he was teaching somewhere and he got the news that his daughter has passed away. Then even after that he continued his teaching.
Definitely.
This was very amazing.
Definitely.
Sir, how Dr. Zakir Hussain as a writer?
This is one aspect of Dr. Zakir Hussain that is very much missed. In comparison, he has a very taller personality. So, that aspect is somehow, is not highlighted. But in my opinion, he was a great writer as well. So, you see his biggest contribution. He translated, one famous book written by Plato, that is The Republic. He translated it into Riyasat. So this was his biggest contribution. And in Berlin, he published 24 speeches of Mahatma Gandhi in German language. And by that work, German people become acquainted with Mahatma Gandhi. Otherwise, Mahatma Gandhi was known in, in almost every part of the globe. But German people were not familiar with him. But through this work, in fact, German people became familiar with Mahatma Gandhi. Besides, he wrote a lot of book on education, तालीम का असर नौ निज़ाम, आज की तालीम, निज़ाम तालीम, such type of things. He wrote a lot of books for the children as well. And I think one such story, I think I was in class 8th and I read that story, and that was, the title of that story was Abbu Khan ki Bakriyan. So that was very good story. I think it's available on internet in both the languages, in Hindi and English as well. So I think you should instruct to your student to go through that book, and through that writing, you will realize how prolific and how good writer Dr. Zakir Hussain was. So, a writer is supposed to convey some message. If you are successful in conveying your message to the people, then you are a successful writer. And definitely I can say that he was a great writer because he used to convey his message, whatever he wanted to convey.
MashaAllah.
Yes.
Sir, he was awarded with so many awards. Can
Right.
you please tell us?
Of course, with Padma Vibhushan, you see, that is a very important civilian award that is given to the citizens of India by the government of India. So, I think in 1954, he was awarded Padma Vibhushan, and he was some of the fortunate people who were awarded with Bharat Ratna when they were living, when they were live. So that was given to him. Besides, so many, D.Litt degrees and doctorate degrees from so many universities and institutions of India. And one thing more that's very important, that besides being a freedom fighter, besides being a political leader, besides being a writer, he was a very good cultivator as well. And
Yes, a gardener also.
in fact, he had much love for roses and etc. And I have been told again by my dad teacher, Professor Zillur Rahman Khan Sahab. He told us that whenever they visited to Rashtrapati Bhavan, frequently he found that Dr. Zakir Sahab is going in the lawns and Mughal gardens particularly in Rashtrapati Bhavan. So he instructed the gardeners how to do this. What this particular type of rose is needing, and how you have to cut, and how you have to provide the fertilizers, and everything. So he was a very good cultivator, and I think honoring him by giving the name of the biggest rose garden of Asia, Zakir Hussain Rose Garden, that is there in Chandigarh. I think it's the best tribute that the government of India can pay to one such great son of India, Dr. Zakir Hussain.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving such a valuable time to us. Thank you.